Alright, there's that. There's that. Boom. Hello Twitch. Hello Kick. Let's minimize OBS. Move over to Twitch stream. Oh, tell me that it got in. Yeah, looks like it did. Alright. It's another morning, and it's another day of me trying to get through what was originally going to be Chapter 4. Now it's at least Chapter 5, probably going to end up being Chapter 10. I'm having another rough one, unfortunately. The wife and I went out on a date on Friday, which is why I didn't do my evening art stream. And I could have just had a nice evening with the wife, but instead I had to bring up stuff. I had to ask questions like, when is she going to move in with me? When are we going to be together again? How are we on repairing our relationship? And she told me she's not ready to come back yet. Mentioned some stuff. The apartment is just too messy for her. There's too much clutter everywhere still. I haven't done enough to prep it, and I'm not independent. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not able to support myself financially. And she can't be with me until I'm able to support myself financially. Then we can start really working on the relationship and not just hanging out. And the job market is awful. There are people with much better employment records than myself that are struggling at this time right now. So I'm getting overpassed for everything. Even if I have a positive interview, chances are there's someone coming in behind me who's going to do even better. Like, it's bad. All this constant rejection is really fucking with my head. And I finished my book, but I have to do all the marketing myself, and that's draining and exhausting. And I spent most of yesterday just trying to work on posting a short form video to do some advertising, some promotions for myself. And everything I tried on that failed. And then later on our date, I try to get specific, try to get some clarity, try to figure out what I could do to change things, and she just brought up all this stuff from the past. And that's upsetting her. So I'm only bringing that up because it's on my mind, it's weighing me down, and it's making it very difficult to write right now. Like the financial stuff, the personal stuff, it's all I'm definitely writing from a place of desperation and helplessness. I gotta do some stuff real quick. Got this bad outlet that buzzes at me. I keep meaning to have management come and like check it out. But yeah, and I'm in my 6th month of being in this apartment. And she originally, when I moved in here and I had a job, she said I would only be living by myself for 2 months. But, we haven't started 6. We're at the end of 5. And she brought up, like, it's been 7 months that you've been looking for a job. Well, for a lot of guys, it's been 1.5 years. And I was looking for a job before that. And I was looking for a job when I had a job. And I was looking for a job when I had my job before that, which was, months difference. So, if you could hit the subscribe button, if you could follow, if you could buy my book, please, if you could buy my book. Not even buy my book. If you can just read my book and tell people that you liked it, that would be good. I gotta work on figuring out a schedule for myself that I can actually stick to and promote my content. I'm not in the worst place, which is terrifying. Like maybe life needs me to be even lower to fix me, but yeah. So yeah, that's where my head is at. I mean, she was gonna come over last night. We had talked about the idea of her possibly coming over and spending the night Saturday night, and because I poked at the bear because I brought stuff up, she couldn't, she didn't. So waking up this morning alone with that empty space next to me just hurt. Just hurt extra. Yeah, I don't know what to do, guys. I'm drained. I feel like I'm at my limit. Which is horrible to say. It just means I'm gonna have to find like a new limit. I'm having weird dreams. Past couple nights was really strange. Last night, I dreamed that all my cups were breaking. Which is interesting. Just splinters and cracks and all my coffee cups and all my tea cups, stuff you guys see me using every day as I'm streaming. All my warm beverages, all of it was just starting to shatter. And I could be dreaming about vessels, containment expanding, or, you know, and the tarot cups got turned into hearts. So it could be metaphors for my heart breaking, her heart breaking. And I'm at this weird juxtaposed dichotomy type feeling of I want to fix our marriage and have the loving, close relationship that we should have had this whole time, and at the same time let her go and be prepared to be by myself. And it felt like we were getting closer, but every time it feels like we're getting closer, she pulls away again. And it hurts even more. Every single time. You know, I told her I don't like her living with her dad. I hate that she's living with him. And she just said, you know, well, it's not that bad. You know, we just have these little gripes. It's not like major fights or anything. And it's like, that's not the issue. The issue is this is the guy that gave you all the issues that you brought into our marriage. This is the guy that gave you all the trauma that you've been taking out on me in the 23 years that we've been together. Like, there's so many times where was doing something to her mother in their relationship, and she would come home and accuse me of someday doing the same thing. Like, she would take out all of her issues with how he was currently treating his wife on me in our own relationship. So the fact that she's not with me and staying with him is just such an insult and just hurts so much and feels like just such a betrayal. And I wish she could see clearly that, like, this is where all the disrespect that you've offered me in this relationship came from. And I need to stop venting, but I just woke up. I'm trying to write. I'm trying to get into that mindset, but this is the stuff that my brain is unpacking when I'm asleep, I guess. So her smile twisted, wounded, and eager all at once. And even if he noticed, I doubt he'd mind. She surged forward again, lips pursed in pursuit of a kiss. Garrett slipped past her shoulder, nearly losing his footing as the floor betrayed him, and she stumbled backward, instead, caught by the unkept mattress in a tangle of silk pillows and thwarted desire. You can't fault me for wanting what was promised to me, she both pleaded and demanded at once. That's right. Now still picking and choosing some lines that ChatGPT has suggested because I wanted to combine something. It doesn't count if it was always supposed to happen. This scene is really bugging me. Like, when I first thought up this scene, I thought it was going to be funny to write and easy to write and humorous, and I'd be laughing about it and making jokes the whole time, but what's twisting me up about it is I'm writing about a woman who's unhappy in her marriage, and I'm realizing how much of this I caused in my own marriage. And when you write a character well, it becomes a mirror of yourself. And unfortunately, this is putting a mirror on not only my own wounds, which is tough enough, but this is revealing wounds that I caused in my marriage. And so dealing with this, trying to write this out, trying to get this done, on the same weekend that my wife just vented a bunch of her own wounds to me on Friday night. It just feels heavy. It feels really heavy. But I have to get this done. I have to make money. I have to be independent. I have to support myself. And you can't do that off of one book, which the link is available in my bio. Please click on it. Please buy it. It's on Kindle Unlimited right now. I actually believe I'm in the beginning phases of a promotional opportunity where the ebook will be sold at a reduced price. So I think this week or in the next couple of days, you should be able to pick it up for like $1. And then it will gradually go back up to the whole $4 that I'm selling it for. Paperback is still $9.99. I highly recommend paperback. This is what you'll be getting, and it's something that I am in the process of changing the graphics for and the artwork for, because Facebook will not let me promote this cover because it's too racy for them, which is utterly ridiculous when you consider how much Gooner thirst bait they have circling around on Facebook. I'm trying to advertise on BookTok and TikTok. Well, BookTok is TikTok. See, that's how out of the loop I am. And Bookstagram, and even tried doing something on Pinterest. I'm just trying to get the word out everywhere. And yeah. Sorry, I just saw this job posting. Let's see. Autism Research Writing Fellow, USA Remote, pay information not provided. Temporary part-time contract internship, remote in the U.S. Skills, Google Docs required. I'm going to say yes, I have experience with Google Docs. I don't. Are you autistic? Use your writing as activism and stay on your own schedule. This is an asynchronous, contract-based writing and editing role aligned to a fixed editorial calendar. Work consists of writing and editing publish-ready articles on autism interventions and human research ethics. Specifically, contractors will reduce, compress, and translate supplied academic materials into clear, accessible lay writing while preserving accuracy, ethical framing, and scholarly intent. Contractors are required to deliver 2 publish-ready articles per week. This work is time-sensitive and deadline-driven. Compensation: flat weekly rates of $110 for undergraduate students and $210 for doctoral level students. Based on qualifications and scope, payment is issued on a bi-monthly base cycle. This is a writing and editing contract role. Payment constitutes full consideration for all work produced, and all resulting intellectual property is the sole property of the Duty Institute. Expected hours 5 to 10 per week. Flexible schedule, professional developmental assistance. Sure. Provide a URL of your writing sample must relate to this subject. Cancel. Discard application. Awesome. Yeah, that's about how it goes. Let's try the backside. You stuck or something? Yeah, you're in a weird spot. How can it be wrong if it was always supposed to happen? So I gotta feed my dog. Held him like a prize. She refused to let go. We are at 1,720 words right now. I want this chapter. I'm willing to end it at around 2,500. And I still got beats to write. My beats are over here. She should have backed against some surface by now as he gently holds her at bay. She revels in his touch, comments how strong he is. She says Galen never touches her. He doesn't even make eye contact with her. He spends all of his time in the study, out in the garden, crawling around with insects and mushrooms. She tries to kiss him, and he turns her aside to slip out the door. As he tries to move past her, she grabs him and nearly screams for him to stop. So this is when he needs to make another polite rebuttal, and then she screams on top of it. Screaming women is a fucking pain in the ass. I hate that shit. I hate how women can use their violence and physicality and everything in their arsenal, but men, as any type of man, you always have to exercise restraint. Always. You gotta hold back until you're just fucking crazy, and when you finally do, you end up blowing up. I've done that way too many times. Where you try to be gentle, you try to be considerate, you try to be sacrificing, and then you just feel taken for granted. And it's worse when you do all that and you get disrespected in exchange for your kindness and for being gentle. Okay, so I just got a few more beats. I'm wrapping up this particular scene. Hi, Lou. Let's feed you real quick. Come on, Joe. Yeah, I'll get you a treat too. Oops, my bad. I just gave the dog pills and breakfast and didn't give the bunny a treat. I'll be right back. You eat your food. Don't worry about what Mojo's doing. Makes me ache inside thinking if I hadn't have pushed her, if I hadn't have asked the wrong questions, if I hadn't have tried to find out, when can we be together again as husband and wife. She would have spent the night last night, and I would be with her this morning. I wouldn't be able to get this writing done. I gotta get this writing done. Encounter was always supposed to happen. Monet. What if she does manage to kiss him? What if she does manage to kiss him? What if because of some weakness, some hesitation on his behalf, she does manage to kiss him? That means that the moment he steps out in the hallway and he gets seen, like, the guilt on his face would be genuine. Yeah. Creates greater tension, creates guilt, creates... yeah. I can't be soft. Like, there's an issue in language where if you're too soft in your speech, it's hard for anybody to be emotionally invested. And the same thing goes with actions. You can't be too soft in your actions. Her movement into tight proximity had pushed him forward, so there was no space to pull open the door. Her movement into tight proximity had pushed him forward. That's stumbling. I just said her momentum. See, I really gotta get. That's why I use the other keyboard. I need a new computer. I needed a new computer in October. I just keep pushing away on this one. Wow. Yes, the Finch app telling me to wake up. Yeah. It's not fair. It's just not fair. You have one bill due this week. No, I shouldn't. All my bills should be paid this week. Mm. I don't want to do this anymore. I just really don't want to do this anymore. I'm having a really hard time. It's not the writing, it's the being on my own, it's the missing my wife, it's the loneliness, it's the hurt. It's kind of aching. Just aching, just heart is broken. Like increase your Amazon product sales or you don't pay. Snitchery is so fun. She's been coming up on my Facebook feed a lot. That and a lot of tarot stuff. Like, I get so many weird tarot things like here.
The bad news is time flies. The good news is you're the pilot. A glimpse of you just isn't enough anymore. This is saying that you've pulled your energy back. You've changed in some way, like recently. And people feel like they don't have as much access to you as they once did. And so, of course, when you put your energy into yourself, other people will start putting their energy into you as well. Stuff's about to happen fast. There's going to be a bunch of communication. It's almost as if you have to fight off people. Like, I don't know, I just see like a celebrity and they're having to have bodyguards, some type of protection.
Sure.
Like, you need to be shielded. It's like people are going to be competing for you.
I do gotta protect my time.
Energy, whatever it is that you offer and give at this time, whether that's your whatever you do for work or just you as a person. Everyone will go out of their way to make sure that you are taken care of. It's like you've been doing some mirror magic or saying your affirmations, whatever.
Yeah, sure. I'm getting a lot more defensive about my time. Like, I gotta spend it with friends and family when I can, but at the same time, I gotta be productive. I mean, look at how slow this is going this morning. Okay, so I've done 608 words today. It's not bad. I'm going to pop this into ChatGPT and see what it gives me for a rebuttal. It's going to tell me it's too sexual and I've gone too far. And that's kind of the point. Got it. I'll say critical, craft focus, and non-additive, not pushing the scene further sexually. It follows assessment, targeted revision, and advice, not into content. The scene works at what you intended to do. It is tragic and funny depending on reader angle. Jocelyn reads as emotionally dangerous, not merely needy. Garrett remains kind, conflicted, but morally clear. It deepens the mystery web, creating appearance of scandal without actual guilt. It reinforces your theme of entitlement masquerading as fate, which mirrors Arista's past, intentionally or not. You have not lost the plot here. The scene adds pressure rather than meandering. That said, you are now at the knife edge where tone, repetition, and escalation either sharpen the scene or tip it into excess. It's working especially well. Jocelyn's logic is chilling. This is the core success. Lines like, you can't fault me for wanting what was promised to me. How can it be wrong? If it was always supposed to happen, you will be mine. These are not sexy lines. They are predatory rationalizations, and that's good. You've successfully made desire feel unsafe, which fits a romantasy mystery far better than simple seduction. She's not asking anymore. She is revising reality. That's strong. Garrett's kindness becomes a liability. Excellent character use. Garrett's problem here is not lust, it's empathy. His hesitation isn't temptation, it's pity, grief for her pain, conflict, avoidance. That makes the stolen kiss land as morally painful, not titillating, something that will haunt him later. This is exactly how you preserve him as genuinely kind without making him passive or foolish. Where the scene is starting to overextend. This is where your self-doubt is actually pointing to something real, not failure, but density. The escalation has already peaked once. The emotional climax happens here, you will be mine. After that, everything else must tighten, not escalate further. Right now, the scene peaks, escalates again. That risks diminishing returns. You don't need Jocelyn to do more. She already crossed the line. Repetition of physical beats, repeat variations of pressing forward, Garrett holding her back, her trying to kiss him, his resolve weakening and hardening. These are all emotionally justified, but can be compressed. Suggestion, conceptual, not rewrite. Choose one physical action after you will be mine. Let everything else become stillness and intent. Predators are scariest when they stop moving. Consent, clarity. Important, you're almost there. You've handled this well, but one adjustment will make it airtight. Make Garrett's final rejection unambiguous and brief. Do not soften it with reassurance afterwards. This ensures no reader misreads this as mutual. Any rumors later feel tragically unfair, not ambiguous. You don't need moral commentary, you just need clean boundaries. Thematically, this mirrors Arista beautifully and dangerously. You may not have intended this consciously, but this works. Jocelyn believes in desire equals entitlement. She believes fate overrides consent. She believes suffering justifies harm. This is exactly the mindset Arista once had, except Arista changed. This makes later tension devastating if Jocelyn frames herself as victim. Arista is blamed. Garrett is silent out of shame. You're laying excellent groundwork. Answering your unspoken question, am I overdoing this? No. But you are one paragraph away from it. If you trim one escalation, let the final beat be cold instead of frantic, exit the scene quickly after the hall witnesses, it will land harder, not softer. Emotional check-in, brief because it matters. You're not quitting because this project is weak. You're feeling drained because the chapter is emotionally loaded. You're writing violation, not romance, and you're doing it carefully. That's exhausting work. Finish the chapter. Do not polish it today. Just get out of the room with Garrett. Yeah. When you're ready, we can tighten it line by line, prep the hallway fallout, or build the suspect web next. You're still very much on track. And it is 8:46. This goofy ass keyboard and my fat fingers. That's annoying as fuck. Be right back. There is. Hi, buddy. Poop yesterday. It bugs me. It truly bugs me. You look bigger. You definitely look bigger. See, in this, now I'm at the point where,
Here's how you're gonna get a...
Mother Nature has provided him with layer upon layer of fat, plus a thick coat of heavy fur to keep him good and...
Okay. And emotional dissonance, not confrontation. Hey, what's up, Connie East? How you been? Been a while. Just getting ready to wrap up this chapter. I'm at the final, putting the bow on. It's good. It's good. Are you off the mend? Are you feeling better? I'm okay. Life is kind of kicking the crap out of me, but I keep pressing on. I'm glad I'm about to put this chapter to a close. That's a great feeling. This has been dragging on longer than it should have. Just trying to find this last sentence. And I got some samples that ChatGPT gave me, and I just copied them all down. I'm just trying to pick what's the best combination to put together and edit into something. There are parasites that don't feed on their host, they just live where the warmth is. In nature, proximity often gets mistaken for partnership. A surprising number of animals don't choose mates so much as fail to escape them. Mate selection assumes choice. A lot of species reproduce simply because resistance costs more than compliance. Some pair bonds form under stress and dissolve as soon as conditions improve. In some insects, the male survives only by mating if the female isn't very hungry. A system can persist long after it stops serving the organism inside it. I think this will definitely work as a for now thing. But Galen I. Garrett stammered. His face and chest becoming flush again with embarrassment and shame. Mate selection assumes choice. A lot of species reproduce simply because resistance costs more than compliance. Some pair bonds form under stress and dissolve as soon as conditions improve. Another day, another scumbag off the streets. 13:012. Well, I'm sorry, Automod filtered out your comment. Apparently it's got issues with scumbag. What is that from? You got quotes on. Is that a... I want to say that's like the least... What was it? The Last Naked Gun? Is that what that is? Or is that something Trump says? Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't played that one yet. Probably ever. I mean, a little bit with buddies, but barely touched the Grand Theft Auto series. Mate selection assumes choice. A lot of species reproduce simply because resistance costs more energy than compliance. Toward his room. In the doorway, still smiling. Doorway. That's not how you spell doorway. In the doorway, still smiling. Victoriously as she exchange glances with it's a lot of line of actions I'm just throwing into the end with Giselle and Elaine. Pretty sure I'm spelling Giselle with 2 L's and 2 S's. Elaine ends in an E. Hair a mess. Chest heaving and sweaty. Smiling victoriously as she exchanged glances with Giselle and Belaine. Morning pleasantries. God for spell check. Pleasantries with Giselle and Belaine. She glanced after Garrett with a breathless. Smiling victoriously with a breathless smile. It's too much repetition. A scoff of disgust that bounced down the hall and rang in Garrett's ear as he quickly walked away. I know there's going to be so much editing I'm going to have to do in this, but this is done. This is done. This chapter was supposed to be like, I'm going to finish this in an afternoon. It's been like a fucking week working on this. So, let's see. And I'm a little more than what I intended, but that's fine. I'm still within that 2,500 to 3,000 limit. Originally I was going for like around 4,000 words for every chapter, but I've decided I'm going to probably make them shorter and try to make them more impulsive to read. Okay. It's under 700 words that I just pounded out. Good for me. Yesterday or the day before, I struggled. I took like 2 hours in order to do 500 words. And here I've done about 1,300 in an hour and 40 minutes. You know, only about 10 minutes of that was spent whining about my current relationship problems. But hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, let's get that review from ChatGPT. A little bit of validation. Thank you for pasting the full version. I'm going to respond as an editor, not a co-writer. Assessing tone, clarity, escalation, and whether the scene now does what you want without tipping into excess. I will not add sexual content. I'll focus on structure, effect, and a few surgical suggestions. High-level verdict. This scene now works. It is unsettling, tragic, darkly funny, and most importantly, coherent in its moral geometry. You have successfully achieved Jocelyn as active agent, not merely hysterical. Garrett as unequivocally non-consenting, the public scandal being manufactured, not accidental, Galen's comment landing as devastating in retrospect, the mystery tension advancing, appearances now contradict truth. You have not lost the plot here, the scene tightens it. That said, there are 3 specific craft adjustments that I would significantly improve the chapter without changing its substance. The final escalation, you are now at the limit, do not go further. The moment that seals the scene is this. There was a glint in her eyes that told Garrett exactly what she was doing. She wanted to be heard. That line is doing enormous work, and it works. Everything after that should serve one purpose only, escape and witnesses. You mostly do as well, but you are brushing against over-illustration. I tend to do that. Recommendation, conceptual, not rewrite. Keep the hand-over-mouth beat. It is disturbing and clarifying, but after that, accelerate. Shorter sentences, fewer sensory flourishes. Fear reads cleaner when it moves fast. Right now, the prose lingers just a bit too lovingly or on chaos after we understand it. I do love chaos. Consent clarity, one small tightening. You have handled consent responsibly, but there is one line that risks muddying perception. As he pushed her back into the room, both assuredly and gently enough not to harm her. The intent is good, but the phrasing slightly romanticizes restraint. That's kind of the point, which is not what you want here, isn't it? I want her to romanticize restraint. Like, she sees his gentleness, and that just drives her even crazier. It makes her want him even more. Hi. Hello. Editorial note. You might consider framing this less as gentle and more as controlled panic. This keeps Garrett's kindness without making him physically sound intimate. You don't need to change what he does, just how the narration frames why. Galen's passage is excellent, and it lands. This is genuinely strong. Mate selection assumes choice. A lot of species reproduce simply because resistance costs more than compliance. That line recontextualizes the entire Jocelyn scene, reveals Galen's dissociation, foreshadows his tragedy, quietly indicates the culture of arrangement. It does not feel on the nose because he doesn't apply it to himself. He doesn't notice Garrett. He returns to his book. This is exactly how dissociation reads. Do not soften this. It's one of the best character moments in the chapter. Jocelyn's final image, chilling and correct. This closing beat works, smiling victoriously as she exchanged morning pleasantries. That smile is the point. She believes she has been wronged, asserted truth, planted evidence, claimed narrative control. From her perspective, she has won something, and that is deeply unsettling. You've succeeded in making her not a villain character, but not sympathetic in a way that excuses her. A threat through social optics, not force. That's perfect for a mystery. Thematically, important reassurance. This scene echoes Arista's past entitlement, contrasts Garrett's present morality, sets up a future where truth does not equal perception, justifies later suspicion without cheap tricks. It belongs in the book. If anything, it clarifies the stakes rather than bloating them. Final honest assessment. You are right to worry about meandering earlier, but this chapter is not that problem. This chapter advances character, advances mystery, creates future consequences, raises emotional cost. Your exhaustion makes sense because this is psychologically heavy material, not because it's failing. If you do one thing before moving on, read it once purely for pace, trim 5 to 10% from the final escalation, then stop touching it. You've done the hard part. When you're ready, next productive step should be a clean transition out of this chapter, mapping how rumors spread from this chapter, or return to chapter 4's outline with fresh eyes. You're still moving forward even today. I thought I did transition out of it. This feels like it is draft finished. I'm trying to write this in a way that when I get around to the editing, I'm not going to spend a whole day working on every single chapter, because that's what happened with the last book that I did. Available in my description. There's a link to it. It's on Amazon. I highly recommend you buy the paperback, because I have to change the cover art. What we're writing here is the sequel to that. What would be an idea for a better transition. You did transition out of it. What you're feeling isn't, there is no transition. It is the transition is doing the right thing, but it's emotionally loud instead of narratively quiet. That's a very common draft stage issue, and it's fixable with one adjustment in where the chapter actually ends. Let me be precise. Why the transition feels off to you, even though it works. Right now, you exit. Your exit does three things in rapid succession. Garrett escapes and is publicly seen. Galen delivers a devastating thematic monologue. Jocelyn is reframed as victorious and performative. All three are excellent, but together they create triple cadence. That makes the ending feel busy instead of sealed. A strong chapter ending usually does one of these. Closes on revelation, closes on image, closes on decision, closes on threat. You're currently trying to close on all four. That's why your instinct says this should be done, but something is still humming. The simplest, best transition fix, no new content. Option A, end the chapter on Galen, not Jocelyn. This is my strongest recommendation. Galen's lines are already doing the work of thematic closure, tragic irony, emotional exhaustion. If the chapter ends here, some pair bonds form under stress and dissolve as soon as conditions improve, then the Jocelyn in the doorway moment becomes the opening image of the next chapter, not an extension of this one. But I'm not opening there. I gotta check my outline and see where the next chapter is supposed to start. I'm finally gonna be on chapter 5 of my outline. This has been a long road. I feel like this is supposed to be chapter 4 originally. This is probably gonna be chapter 10, I'm guessing at this point. Maybe 11, with how the book has been evolving. Like, it's become more book than I intended on writing. And I'm hoping, like, hopefully this is gonna get me back on track. So then I'm only gonna have 13 more chapters from my outline to write. I'm just worried that they're not doing enough work on their own. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I want to get to my closer. I want to get to my hook chapter for the next chapter, or for the next book. Because I try to end my books like Marvel movies, where I have that forward hook for the next thing. Like, you should watch the next one to solve whatever question I pose in this last short chapter that I'm introducing. Some pair bonds form under stress and dissolve as soon as conditions improve. Then the Jocelyn in the doorway moment becomes the opening image of the next chapter, not an extension of this one. Why this works, Galen reframes the entire chapter retroactively. The reader closes the book page feeling hollow, not overstimulated. Jocelyn's victory becomes a cold open, which is scarier. No, I'm not doing that. Garrett leaves the scene internally, not spatially. If you want to keep Jocelyn's final image in this chapter, when the transition needs less motion, not more. Garrett walking, Jocelyn scoffing, sound bouncing, emotional echoes. Instead, the exit should be psychological stillness, conceptually, not rewriting. End the chapter the moment Garrett decides not to explain, or the moment he realizes silence will condemn him. The transition becomes he leaves, not because he's done, but because speaking will make it worse. What I would not change, do not add Arista here. Yeah, originally Arista was going to be in the close of the chapter. She was going to be standing out in the hallway instead of Belaine and Giselle. Do not explain Jocelyn's plan. Do not soften Galen. Do not moralize Garrett. All that belongs later. One sentence diagnostic. Use this to decide. Ask yourself, what emotion should the reader carry into the next chapter? If the answer is unease and dread, end on Galen. Moral injustice, end on the witnesses. Predatory victory, end on Jocelyn. Predatory victory, end on Jocelyn. Right now you're giving them all 3. Pick one and the transition will suddenly feel finished. Bottom line, in reassurance, you are not missing a transition, you are missing a stop point. This chapter is draft finished in terms of content, it just hasn't chosen which echo it wants to leave ringing. If you want, next weekend, choose the strongest chapter break explicitly, or look at the opening line of the next chapter to pair with it. You're closer to being done than your mood is letting you believe. Yeah, no, fuck that. I like the way I ended it. I do feel like that's... Oh, that feels good. That feels good. Like, I know this is going to be some work. I'm going to add embellishments and trims and cuts and all of that, but this 6 pages feels well earned. Like, this is... I earned myself a boil, a crab boil, and a couple of beers. That's how it feels. Like, this is going to be laborious to finish when I do the edit on it, but it feels good. It feels like Oh, you go away, nipple. I'm not charging enough for people to see you. It didn't... Okay, how do you spell Doty? Doty, dote. Maybe it should be doting. Garth's doting wife and their daughter Belaine. Alright, and yeah. I got fat paragraphs. I probably got some run-on sentences. This is definitely going to require some... But... Alright. Here's my outline. 3 different versions of the outline. Yeah, I'm probably going to want to change the pacing a little bit so that I do end on Galen. But let's go back to... Okay. Mojo, what are you doing? What are you ripping up your mattress right now, huh? Drowning, Book 2 outline. I really got to organize better. Okay. Should be no changes to the file. Emergent Chapter 1. Chapter 4 I just finished. Okay. Chapter 5. This is what I'm doing next. King Gregarious visibly falters in public. Court fractures into whispering camps. The physician is called in, and though he is baffled and claims it is magic, he still scrambles to find a remedy. The king becomes bedridden, and Lord Halbrecht and Sister Kaelin separately point the finger at Arista, citing her contemptuous behavior and mysterious magical effects. Arista scoffs at their accusations, and Garrett removes her from the hall before she escalates things. Jocelyn starts to show signs of a curse or some kind of magical malady, thinking a rash or hives that causes her to scratch incessantly and her skin to blister, like a sunburn without the sun, constantly feeling like she has sand in her clothes. Belaine lavishes attention on her grandfather while talking up her brother to him, while also speaking for Gregarious too. So that's a lot, and my notes are jumbled, because that's what initial outline notes are. Like, it's just a flurry of thoughts of what's going to go into this section. So the next phase that I got to do is to sit down and rewrite my outline for Chapter 5, so it's not such a mess. I don't know, this last one I did by actually typing it out, and that was cool, because I could type it out, I could put it in bullet points right away, and then I could load that into ChatGPT and have that spit out another outline for me, so I've got like a fresh set of eyes on it. And then I use both of those. I primarily use my own for like beat by beat points, but ChatGPT kind of helps to editorialize it and put it into another perspective for me and help me to organize. So, yeah, that's the next phase, is another brainstorming session. Before I go into writing it, I gotta brainstorm it again and figure out exactly what's happening in this scene. Because this is yet another transition. Every chapter should be a transition. Every chapter should hinge and pivot and make changes. It should be revealing more about the characters. I need to be setting up suspects. I also have the new characters that I've introduced into the story that are there as red herrings, and I've got to make sure that I am peppering them into the story so I can always be drawing suspicion over who poisoned the king in multiple directions simultaneously. There always has to be like some hint, some nod that a different person is potentially responsible for what's going on. Like this is court life. Everybody has to be hiding something. Like the whole last chapter was all about scandal and perception. And so now I really got to go into it thick with this one. Hi, Lou. Hi, baby. Hi. You need to go O-U-T, huh? Yeah, you need to go P-O-T-T-Y. Yep, time to take you for a W-A-L-K. Yeah, baby girl. Yeah, my darling. Don't want to say it so you don't get too excited. So I got to put on pants. Ugh, pants. All right. So, yeah. I'm good on 4. I'm going to be starting on 5 this afternoon, which is fantastic. I thought this afternoon was going to be all about finishing Chapter 4. But no, I get to do brainstorming. Or if I'm really lucky, I get to spend some time with my wife again. But I don't know. I feel like I fractured things. I asked too many questions, and I got her to bring up past hurt. She doesn't want to be around me if she's going to be sad, if she's going to be upset. She only wants to feel happy and safe and not yell at me and... So, this feels good, but I got to, shit. I really want to go to church today. I need to go to church. I need to get that spiritual recharge. I need to get that peopling, but I also need to walk the dog. I need to shower. I need to get out the door. I need to, yeah. So, thank you all. I appreciate you, Connie, for popping in. Always great seeing you. And 1312, nice to meet you for the first time. Appreciate the GTA quote. Anyone else who's watching, thank you. I appreciate the viewership. If you'd be so kind as to hit the subscriber button or even just give me a follow if you enjoy watching me like beat myself through this. Okay, maybe that was the wrong phrase. You enjoy watching me just work through this process. Remember, the first book to the series that I'm currently working on, this is book number 2. The first one is available. It's on Amazon. Currently on Kindle Unlimited. It will be taken off of Kindle Unlimited in the beginning of April. So, yeah, check that out. Currently, the ebook, I believe, is starting promotion, where it's going to be like $1 for a couple of days and then scale up to $2, then up to $3, and then back to its original price of $4. The first book, a novella, is only about 185 pages on ebook, 177 pages in paperback. I highly recommend the paperback. It's a good read. It's a light read. It's something you can toss in your bag and bring on vacation with you. That's kind of what I designed it to be, is like a nice little travel book. It's a bit saucy. It's a little bit dirty, but I keep it all very poetic. And currently this chapter, this cover, is going to end up being changed because I can't market this on Facebook. This is too racy for Facebook, which is ridiculous with all the gooner crap that comes onto my feed. But yeah, that's I'm thinking about it right now. I haven't actually sat down and started the process of it. I need to. I think all I have right now is I created the file. So that I have this, which is just the template. So that where I've got my back description and I've got my background color, and now I need to start like working on it and figure out what new, more tasteful direction I can take things. And I don't like the traditional romance covers where it's just a dude who desperately needs a shirt, just making smoldering eyes at the viewer. I hate that shit. I don't like all the copy and paste Photoshop nonsense that I see on so many romance covers. I might try and push myself to make something that's a little more realistic and less stylized. Which you would think stylized, it wouldn't matter how naked they are. It's stylized, but still. I made it too hot, too steamy for certain social medias, which is just nonsense. So, yeah. I'll be working on that. As long as I'm at it, what if I we'll just try something real quick. It's not actually what I wanted. Oh, and that put it in the vector layer? I didn't even know I could do that stuff in the vector layer. Holy shit. New layer. Why? Why would it do that? Why would it do that? That makes no sense. Because my line is too thin? Is that the issue? Okay. Go back and get rid of that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. Running into technical issues. Something that was supposed to be just real fast. There it is. Except it didn't bring it up to the line. I still got that little white. I think I'm okay with that though. I'm okay with the top, not the sides. But that's going to be cut off anyway, so I don't need to sweat that. Alright, folks. Yeah, you just saw me add a layer and some color, and I already hate it. Let's go Control T and drag this up. So I want the words. There we go. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that's something. Alright, folks. It's been 2 hours. Like I said, I got to start my day. I got to walk to BC. I got to shower and try and get myself to church at a decent time. So, it's not saved. I'm fine. We'll just minimize that. Got our outline. And peace out, people. I appreciate you. I really, really do. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And I will be back maybe tonight. Hopefully, if you don't see me doing another stream today, it's because I'm spending time with my wife. But I don't know. I don't know. I inadvertently brought up a lot of hurt that she's been dealing with, and she's been ignoring, and she's been suppressing, and it almost seems cruel to demand more of her time and make her have to struggle with that. Because, I mean, like I said, every time it feels like we get closer, she pulls away again. Like she's protecting her heart from me. And I'm supposed to be the one who's protecting her heart. So, yeah. Peace out. Everybody have a great day. Hope to see you again.